Dear Lord, our Father in heaven, we offer this gathering to you and ask you to bless it with your wisdom and grace, to implore the guidance of the divine providence and the Holy Spirit to assist us in our tasks and in the proceeding of this chamber, that we shall be faithful in our mandate for the welfare of the people. We ask you to enlighten our minds, the members of the Sangguniang Panalawigan, to know what is true and just, and to strengthen our wills for the common good and for the welfare of the province of Northern Samar and in the nation in general, to carry out faithfully what we come to see our duty. May all our thoughts, words, and actions be directed in making your name and your love better known among men, here and eternity. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Kayang magiliw, telas ng sinakalan, alam ng puso, sa titik mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, tuyag ka ng magiting, sa mandulupin, di ka pasisingil, sa nagagang putok sa simoy at sa langit ng bagaw, ay hinatang tulang awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang isang ng matawad mo'y tagumpay na nagtitingin, ang bituin at araw niya kailan ang ay di magtitingin. Luman ang araw ng walhagit pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Ang inigaya ng pagkay mga api, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Honorable Abalon Don, Honorable Abalon El Cid, Honorable Isidira, Honorable Hilyamak, Honorable Laudenio, Honorable Lion, Honorable Lucero, Honorable Saludaga, Honorable Singson, Honorable Uy, Honorable Ditera. There are 8 members present, including the presiding officer, Mr. Chair.
With 8 members present, quorum is declared. What is the pleasure of the majority floor leader?
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer. First of all, I'd like to greet the members of this august body and the presiding chair, the Honorable Don L. Abalon, members of this august body, secretary, and all the staff. Pleasant good morning. In the next item, Mr. Chairman, we have item number 5, reference of business. Kindly please direct the secretary to read items for referral to the appropriate committee.
The secretary is directed to read all the items on the reference of business.
Ordinance number 2022-04 series of 2022 of the Municipality of San Isidro, Northern Samar, entitled an ordinance appropriating the total amount of 798,699 pesos and 28 centavos only, chargeable against the personal services savings fiscal year 2022 and an appropriated surplus fiscal year 2021 of the local government unit of San Isidro Northern Samar, intended to fund the payment of monetization of leave credits of certain employees and blood donation program of this municipality.
Referred to the Committee on Finance, Budget and Appropriation.
Municipal Ordinance Number 2022-02 of the Municipality of San Antonio, Northern Samar, entitled An Ordinance Authorizing Supplemental Budget Number 2, Series of 2022, involving the amount of 430,000 pesos and appropriating the funds for the purpose.
Referred to the Committee on Finance, Budget and Appropriation.
Ordinance Number 12, Series of 2022 of the Municipality of Pambuan, Northern Samar, entitled An Ordinance Creating an Item Position for Public Health Nurse 1 for Municipal Epidemiology and Surveillance Unit.
Jointly referred to the Committee on Civil Service as well as the Committee on Finance, Budget and Appropriation, with the Committee on Civil Service as the lead committee.
Ordinance Number 13, Series of 2022 of the Municipality of Pambuan, Northern Samar, entitled An Ordinance Creating an Item Position for Public Health Nurse 1 or Nurse 1, Salary Grade 15.
Jointly referred to the Committee on Civil Service and the Committee on Finance, Budget and Appropriation, with the Committee on Civil Service as the lead committee.
Appropriation Ordinance Number 2022-01 of the Municipality of Gamay, Northern Samar, entitled An Ordinance Realigning the sum of 1,225,000 pesos out of 2022 20% Development Fund, Development of Children's Playground, and installation of its facilities at Barangay Central, Gamay, Northern Samar. 1 million and appropriation Ordinance Number 2020-24, repair of LGU vehicle or Avanza, 225,000 pesos for concreting of DC Lucero Street at boundary of Barangay Central and Occidental 1, Gamay, Northern Samar, as per attached statement of funding sources, statement of supplemental appropriation, and certificate as to availability of funds.
Referred to the Committee on Finance, Budget and Appropriations.
Appropriation Ordinance Number 2022-02 of the Municipality of Gamay, Northern Samar, entitled An Ordinance Realigning the Sum of 1 million pesos out of the 2022-20% Development Fund Support to Tourism for rehabilitation of access road to Linaw Falls, Hinlugayan Falls, and Umawas Beach at Barangay Cabarasan, Gabay, Northern Samar, as per attached statement of funding sources, statement of supplemental appropriation, and certificate as to availability of funds.
Referred to the Committee on Finance, Budget and Appropriations.
Ordinance Number 01, Series of 2022 of the Municipality of Victoria, Northern Samar, entitled An Ordinance Authorizing the Annual Budget of Victoria, Northern Samar for fiscal year 2022 in the amount of 147,482,051 pesos, covering the various expenditures for the operation of Victoria Municipal Government for fiscal year 2022 and appropriating the necessary funds per the purpose.
Referred to the Committee on Finance, Budget and Appropriations.
Resolution Number 06, Series of 2022 of the Municipality of Victoria, Northern Samar, entitled Resolution on Adopting and Approving the Annual Investment Program for Calendar Year 2022 of the Municipality of Victoria, Northern Samar.
Referred to the Committee on Finance, Budget and Appropriations.
Ordinance Number 04, Series of 2022 of the Municipality of Silvino Lobos, Northern Samar, entitled An Ordinance Realigning the Amount of 1,602,738 pesos out of appropriation for terminal pay for calendar year 2022 to defray payment of monetization of accumulated leave credits of elected municipal officials and employees herein stipulated.
Referred to the Committee on Finance, Budget, and Appropriations. The Majority Floor Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer. Next item, Mr. Presiding Officer, we have item number 6, calendar of business. Under item number 6-A, review of municipal ordinances and resolutions. First, to render its committee report, we have the Committee on Finance, Budget, and Appropriations. Kindly please, Mr. Chairman, recognize the Honorable Vice Chairman of the Committee on Finance, Budget, and Appropriations. We have the Honorable Dexter Digalit.
The Honorable Vice Chairman of the Committee on Finance, Budget, and Appropriations, the Honorable Dex Galit is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Honorable Majority Leader. The Committee on Finance, Budget, and Appropriation has 8 committee reports to be reported by this representation. First, Municipal Ordinance number 08, series of 2022 of the Municipality of Las Navas, Northern Samar, entitled an ordinance appropriating the amount of 1,492,206 pesos as supplemental budget number 4 for fiscal year 2022 of the Municipality of Las Navas, Northern Samar. The subject ordinance was referred to the Committee on Finance, Budget, and Appropriation and was subsequently referred to the Local Finance Committee for its ethical review and appropriate recommendation. The findings after reviewing the subject ordinance and based on the observation of and recommendation of the Local Finance Committee, this committee finds that the subject ordinance is in conformity with the existing laws, rules, and regulations, and finds no legal hindrance of its enforcement and implementation, subject to the certain conditions prescribed by the Local Finance Committee in its report, which is the committee concurs and finds no reason to disturb. The recommendation of the committee, this committee respectfully recommends that this Sangguniang Panlalawigan to declare the ordinance valid and operative in its entirety, subject to the recommendation set forth by the Local Finance Committee. Signed, submitted for approval this 29th of July 2022, Katarman Northern Samar, signed by the Chairman, Honorable Don L. Abalon, signed by this representation as Vice Chair, signed Honorable Marites J. Guilliamac, member, and signed by Honorable Leonida P. Laudinio, member of this committee. I move for the adoption of this committee report, Mr. Chairman.
There is a motion. Any second? Duly seconded. Any objection? Chair has none. The motion is carried.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Municipal Ordinance number 12, series of 2022 of the Municipality of Las Navas, entitled an ordinance appropriating the amount of 2,800,000 as supplemental budget number 6 fiscal year 2022 of the Municipality of Las Navas, Northern Samar. The subject ordinance was referred to the Committee on Finance, Budget, and Appropriation and was subsequently referred to the Local Finance Committee for its technical review and appropriate recommendation. Findings after reviewing the subject ordinance and based on the observation of and the recommendation of the Local Finance Committee, which is here to attach to this committee report, this committee finds the subject ordinance is in conformity with existing rules and regulations and finds no legal hindrance to its enforcement and implementation, subject to certain conditions prescribed by the Local Finance Committee in its report, which this committee concurs and finds no reason to disturb. The recommendation of the committee respectfully recommends to the Sangguniang Panlalawigan to declare the subject ordinance valid and operative in its entirety, subject to the recommendation set forth by Local Finance Committee. Submitted for approval this 29th of July 2022, Katarman Northern Samar, signed Honorable Don Abalon, Chairman of the Committee, signed by this representation as Vice Chair, signed by Honorable Marites G. Galiamak, member, and signed by Honorable Leonida P. Laudinio, member of the committee. I so move for the adoption of this committee, Mr. Chairman.
There is a motion, duly seconded. Any objection? Chair hears none. The motion is carried.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Municipal Ordinance Number 484, Series of 2022 of the Municipality of Lauang, Northern Samar, entitled Appropriation Ordinance amounting to 131,200 pesos as fund to be utilized for the meals, snacks during Comelec.
May I interrupt the
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Vice Chairman? There is a municipal ordinance number 12, paragraph C.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Or was that the one you earlier moved for
I move for
approval?
I move for 1 minute suspension, Mr. Chairman.
Session suspended. Session is resumed.
Mr. Chairman, if may I continue with my report?
Go ahead.
Thank you. Municipal Ordinance Number 12, Series of 2022 of the Municipality of Las Navas, Northern Samar, entitled An Ordinance Appropriating the Amount of 2,800,000 as supplemental budget for number 06 rather for fiscal year 2022 of the Municipality of Las Navas, Northern Samar. The subject ordinance was referred to the Committee on Finance, Budget, and Appropriation and was subsequently referred to the Local Finance Committee for its technical review and appropriate recommendation. After reviewing the subject ordinance, based on the observation and recommendation of the Local Finance Committee, which is here to attach to this committee report, this committee finds the subject ordinance is in conformity with the existing laws, rules, and regulations, and finds no hindrance to its enforcement and implementation subject to certain conditions prescribed by the Local Finance Committee in its report, which is this committee concurs and finds no reason to disturb. The recommendation of the committee is this committee respectfully recommends rather to the Sangguniang Panlalawigan to declare the subject ordinance valid and operative in its entirety, subject to the recommendations set forth by the Local Finance Committee, submitted for approval this 29th day of July 2020 to Katarman Rodin Samar, signed by the Chairman of the Committee, Honorable Don L. Abalon, as Chairman, signed by this representation as Vice Chair of the Committee, signed by Honorable Marites G. Galiamak, member, and signed by Honorable Leonida P. Laudinio, member of the committee. I so move for the adoption of this committee report, Mr. Chairman.
There is a motion, duly seconded. Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The motion is carried.
Municipal Ordinance Number 484, Series of 2022 of the Municipality of Lauang, Northern Samar, entitled Appropriation Ordinance amounting to 131,200 pesos as fund to be utilized for the meals and snacks during the Comelec 3-day final briefing of all members of the Electoral Board support staff, Department of Education Supervising Officer or DESO, the safety protocol support staff, person deprived with liberty, electoral boards, and other personnel necessary in the conduct of 2022 national and local election. The subject ordinance was referred to the Committee on Finance, Budget, and Appropriation and was subsequently referred to the local committee for its technical review and appropriate recommendation. The committee finds, after reviewing the subject ordinance and based on the observation of the recommendation of the Local Finance Committee, which is attached to this report, finds that the subject ordinance is in conformity with the existing laws, rules, and regulations, and finds no legal hindrance to its enforcement and implementation subject to certain conditions prescribed by the local finance committee in its report which this committee concurs and finds no reason to disturb. This committee respectfully recommends to the Sangguniang Panlalawigan to declare the subject ordinance valid and operative in its entirety, subject to the recommendation set forth by the local finance committee submitted for approval this 29th day of July 2022, Katarman Rodin Samar. Signed, Honorable Don L. Abalon, Chairman. Signed by this representation as Vice Chairman. Signed by Honorable Marites J. Guiliamac, Member, and signed by Honorable Leonida P. Laudinio, Member of the Committee. I so move for the adoption of this report, Mr. Chairman.
There is a motion duly seconded. Is there any objection? The Chair hears none. The motion is carried.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Next committee report. Ordinance number 02, series of 2022 of the Municipality of Capol Northern Samar, entitled An Ordinance Complying the Review Findings of the Sangguniang Panlalawigan of the Province of Northern Samar as regards to fiscal year 2022 General Fund Annual Budget of the Municipality of Capol. The subject ordinance was referred to the Committee on Finance, Budget and Appropriation and was subsequently referred to the Local Finance Committee for its technical review and appropriate recommendation. After reviewing the subject ordinance and based on the observation and recommendation of the Local Finance Committee, which is here to attach to this committee report, this committee finds that the subject ordinance is in conformity with existing laws, rules, and regulations and finds no legal hindrance to its enforcement and implementation subject to certain conditions set forth by the Local Finance Committee in its report, which this committee rather concurs and finds no reason to disturb. The recommendation of the committee respectfully recommends to the Sangguniang Panlalawigan to declare the subject ordinance valid and operative in its entirety, subject to the recommendation set forth by the Local Finance Committee, submitted for approval this 29th day of July 2022, Katarman Rodin Samar. Signed by the Chairman of the Committee, Honorable Don L. Abalon. Signed by this representation as Vice Chair. Signed by Honorable Marites J. Guiliamac, Member, and signed by Honorable Leonida P. Laudinio, Member. I so move for the adoption of this committee report, Mr. Chairman.
There is a motion duly seconded. Is there any objection? The Chair hears none. The motion is carried.
Appropriation Ordinance number 02 series of 2022 of the Municipality of Bubon, Northern Samar, entitled An Ordinance Realigning the Amount of 1,142,000 as from the special purpose appropriation, operation and maintenance of berthing facility as augmentation fund intended for the environmental sanitation services of Municipality of Bubon, Northern Samar. The subject ordinance was referred to the Committee on Finance, Budget and Appropriation and was subsequently referred to the Local Finance Committee for its technical review and appropriate recommendation. The finding, after reviewing the subject ordinance and based on the observation of and recommendation of the Local Finance Committee, which is here to attach and made as an integral part of this committee report, this committee finds that the subject ordinance is in conformity with the laws, rules, regulations, and finds no legal hindrance to its enforcement and implementation, subject to certain conditions set by the Local Finance Committee in its report, which this committee concurs and finds no reason to disturb. Recommendation: this committee respectfully recommends to the Sangguniang Panlalawigan to declare the subject ordinance valid and operative in its entirety, subject to the recommendation set forth by the Local Finance Committee. Submitted for approval this 29th day of July 2022, Katarman Rodin Samar, signed by the Chairman of the Committee, Honorable Don L. Abalon, signed by this representation as Vice Chair of the Committee, signed by Honorable Marites J. Guiliamac, Member of the Committee, and signed by Honorable Leonida P. Laudinio, Member of the Committee. I so move for the adoption of this committee report, Mr. Chairman.
There is a motion duly seconded. Is there any objection? The Chair hears none. The motion is carried.
Next committee report. Background of the committee report. The Committee on Finance, Budget, and Appropriation, to which was referred to the Sangguniang Panlalawigan, o Sangguniang Bayan, number 43 series of 2022 of the Municipality of San Roque, Northern Samar, entitled a resolution approving the Supplemental Annual Investment Plan or EIP for the calendar year 2022 of the Municipality of San Roque, Northern Samar. Findings: after thorough review, the committee has following observation to it. Number 1, the ordinance is in line with the 1987 Constitution. Number 2, the same adhere to the Republic Act 7160, otherwise known as the Local Government Code of 1991. The recommendation of the committee. This committee respectfully recommends to the Sangguniang Panlalawigan that a resolution be passed to declare the subject ordinance valid and operative. Submitted for approval this 29th of July 2022, Katarman, Northern Samar. For the information of the body, the chairman of the committee, being from the same town of San Roque, inhibited with the crafting of this committee report. The vice chairman of the committee made the committee report for the record. So signed by the vice chair of the committee, Honorable Dionisio Dexter A. Galit, this representation. Signed by Honorable Marites G. Guiliamac, member of the committee, and signed by Honorable Leonida P. Laudinio. I move for the adoption and approval of this committee report, Mr. Chairman.
There is a motion, duly seconded, and before the chair will ask for any comment, the chair would like to make manifest that as chairman of the Committee on Finance, Budget, and Appropriation, to which that particular measure was referred to, inhibited himself because I was the one who approved that particular resolution when I was still the mayor of the municipality of San Roque. So it would be inappropriate for this representation to be the one to have approved it and then the one also to participate in its review. So that's the reason why I inhibited. So, is there any objection? The chair hears none. The motion is carried.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Last committee report. The Committee on Finance, Budget, and Appropriations, which was referred ordinance number 31, series of 2022, an ordinance granting centenary benefit and other incentives or benefits to senior citizens under certain conditions, providing funds thereof and for other purposes of the Municipality of San Roque, Northern Samar, conducted an evaluation and review of the same. Findings of the committee. After thorough review, the committee has the following observation to it. The ordinance is in line with 1997 Philippine Constitution. Number 2, the same adheres to Republic Act 7160, otherwise known as the Local Government Code of 1991. Number 3, it is in accordance with the Republic Act 10868 or the Centenarian Act of 2016. Recommendation of the committee. This committee respectfully recommends to the Sangguniang Panlalawigan that a resolution be passed to declare the subject ordinance valid and operative. Submitted for approval this 29th of July 2022, Katarman, Northern Samar. Signed, Honorable Dionisio Dexter E. Galit, Vice Chairman, Honorable Marites G. Guiliamac, member, and signed by Honorable Leonida P. Laudinio, member of the committee. I so move for the approval and adoption of this committee report, Mr. Chairman.
There is a motion, duly seconded, and likewise, before I ask for any comment or observation or objection, the chair would like to make manifest that as chairman of the Committee on Finance, Budget, and Appropriation, I inhibited myself from the review of Municipal Ordinance number 31, series of 2022 of the Municipality of San Roque, because I was the mayor who approved the same during my incumbency as the municipal mayor, and I find it inappropriate to be the one to have approved it and at the same time to be the one participating in its review. Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The motion is
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
the majority floor leader is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We go now to the next item in the committee report under item number 6, capital letter A, dash 2. We have the next committee to render its committee report. We have the committee on amusement, game and amusement and entertainment. But before we go recognize Mr. Chairman, the committee chairman would like to call the attention of the secretary please that next time they prepare the agenda, kindly please review before the reproduction and printing of our agenda, because the name Quintin Bisiluda in my order of business, it's only Quintin Saluda. So, in truth and in fact, it is the Honorable Quintin B. Saludaga.
The secretariat is directed to make the appropriate corrections.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Now, Mr. Chairman, kindly please recognize the Honorable Chairman of the said committee, the Honorable Quintin B. Saludaga.
The Honorable Quintin Saludaga, Chairman of the Committee on Amusement, Games and Entertainment is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you also, Honorable Big Singson, for not recognizing, for murdering my name. Thank you. Good morning, my colleagues. The committee entrusted to me is SB Ordinance, referred to me SB Ordinance number 2022-01 of the Municipality of Rosario, Northern Samar, an ordinance granting franchise to Mr. Cyril B. Calixtro to operate and maintain a cockpit arena in the Municipality of Rosario, Northern Samar. This ordinance has been referred to us for technical review and for recommendation. The Committee on Amusement, Games and Entertainment, to which was referred as Ordinance 2022-01, we entitled an ordinance granting franchise to Mr. Cyril B. Calixtro to operate and maintain a cockpit arena in the Municipality of Rosario, Northern Samar, has considered the same and has the honor to report it back to the Sangguniang Panalawigan with the recommendation that the resolution be passed during the subject ordinance, valid for its enactment is an ordinance with section 4473 of the Local Government Code of 1991. Subject, however, to the compliance of the provisions of PD 449 and the other pertinent laws, rules, and regulations, Mr. Chair. Submitted for resolution this 29th day of July 2022, Katarman, Northern Samar. Signed, the chairman of the committee, Quintin B. Saludaga, my valiant honorable members, Gilbert Vilayon, signed by as Vice Chair, Don Albalon, member, and Victorio Singson III. Mr. Chair.
May the Honorable Chairman of the committee moves for its approval.
I move for the adoption and approval of this ordinance, Mr. Chair.
There is a motion duly seconded. Is there any objection? The chair has none. The motion is carried.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
The Honorable Majority Floor Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the last item under the committee report, we have a joint committee report between the Committee on Agriculture and Food Security, chaired by the Honorable Leonida P. Laudinio, and by the Committee on Ways and Means, chaired by the Honorable Dexter Digalit, to consider Ordinance number 2022-01 22-01 of the Municipality of Bubon, Northern Samar, an ordinance prescribing rules and regulations governing the operation of slaughterhouse of the Municipality of Bubon, Northern Samar, and for other purposes. Kindly please recognize the Honorable Leonida P. Laudinio, being the Committee on Agriculture and Food Security, to render the committee report for and in behalf of the Joint Committee.
The Honorable Leonida Laudinio, Chairperson of the Committee on Agriculture and Food Security, is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and the Majority Floor Leader, Mr. Singson. So this is a joint committee report on the Committee on Agriculture and Food Security with the Committee on Ways and Means. The Committee on Agriculture and Food Security and the Committee on Ways and Means, to which was referred to as an ordinance number 2022-01 of the Municipality of Bubon, this province, entitled An Ordinance Prescribing Rules and Regulation Governing the Operation of the Slaughterhouse of the Municipality of Bubon, Northern Samar, and for other purpose, have considered the same and has the honor to report it back to the Sangguniang Panlalawigan with the following findings and observations. Number 1, the enactment of the subject ordinance is in pursuant to Section 4475 of the Local Government Code of 1991. And number 2, however, the Article 8, Section 2 of said ordinance imposes a fine of 5,000 pesos. Said provision is in violation of Section 447 of the above-mentioned code. This provides that Sangguniang Bayan shall approve ordinance imposing a fine of not exceeding 2,500 pesos. Wherefore, this Joint Committee on Agriculture and Food Security and the Committee on Ways and Means most respectfully recommend to this Sangguniang Panlalawigan that a resolution be passed declaring the same valid except the imposition of the 5,000 pesos as stipulated in Article 8, Section 2 of said ordinance. Submitted for resolution this 29th of July 2022 at Katarman, Northern Samar. Signed, Leonida Laudinio, the Committee Chair. Signed, Albert Lucero, Vice Chair on the Committee on Agriculture and Food Security. Member, Committee on Ways and Means. Signed, Don L. Abalon, Member, Committee on Agriculture and Food Security. Signed, Junicio Dexter A. Gallet, Chairman, Committee Ways and Means, and Member on the Committee on Agriculture and Food Security. Signed, Honorable Marites Gilyamak, Member, Committee Ways and Means. And I move for the adoption and passing a resolution for the approval of this committee report. Thank you.
There is a motion, duly seconded. Is there any objection? The chair has none. The motion is carried. The Honorable Majority Floor Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Before we go on to the next item, may I move for a 1-minute suspension?
Session is suspended for 1 minute. Session is resumed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the next item, we have item number 7 in the order of business. The other matters, we have 2 items, Mr. Chairman, under item letter A. Actually, A and B are letter of urgency coming from the Office of the Provincial Governor. I believe, Mr. Chairman, that the sponsor of these two items is none other than the presiding chair.
May I be permitted by the body to relinquish the chair, and may I designate the Honorable Albert Lucero to take over with the consent of the body?
Yes, of course, Mr. Chairman. Yes, of course, Mr. Chairman.
Session is resumed. The Honorable Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Chair. Still under item number 7, other matters, to consider the two urgent items or ordinances as requested by the Office of the Provincial Governor. Kindly please recognize the Honorable Don L. Abalon to consider the two items, considering that he is the sponsor of the two ordinances as mentioned. So, kindly please recognize, Mr. Chairman.
The Honorable gentleman from San Roque, Honorable Don Abalon, is recognized. Please
Thank you,
proceed.
Mr. Presiding Officer. And with respect to the letter of the Honorable Governor dated July 14, 2022, may I move for the enactment of an ordinance reverting the amount of 96,245,722 pesos and 35 centavos from the various continuing appropriations and reappropriating the same amount for the following programs, projects, and activities as enumerated in the letter of the Honorable Governor with the respective amount indicated opposite thereto.
Yes. What is that a motion?
Yes.
Any second? Any objections? Hearing none, said motion is hereby carried.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And may I likewise move for the enactment of an ordinance realigning the amount of 118,750,000 pesos from the calendar year 2022 appropriations for the 20% Economic Development Fund for the following projects to be implemented this year with the sources of funds and for the programs, projects, and activities likewise indicated in the letter of the Honorable Governor dated July 14, 2022. I so move, Mr. Chair.
Any objections? Hearing none, said motion is hereby carried.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
1 minute suspension. Mayroon pa kasi iba pa. Mayroon pa iba ka. Session is resumed. The Honorable Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, the Honorable Abalon would like to be recognized.
Yes, the Honorable Abalon is hereby recognized. Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have a proposed resolution, and in connection with this, may I subsequently ask the Majority Floor Leader after I be allowed to read the contents of the proposed resolution, to move for the suspension of the rules later to pave way for the approval of this resolution.
Yes, please proceed.
And the proposed resolution reads as follows. Resolution requesting the Department of Agriculture, Bureau of Soils and Water Management, Central Office to conduct soil survey, fertility, and suitability assessment in the province of Northern Samar. Whereas Section 16, Republic Act Number 7160, otherwise known as the Local Government Code of 1991, mandated every local government unit to promote the general welfare and to ensure, among others, the development of appropriate and self-reliant scientific and technological capabilities and the promotion of full employment among their residents. Whereas Section 17 thereof likewise mandated every local government unit to endeavor to be self-reliant and to provide agricultural extension and on-site research service, as well as appropriate transfer of technology, and this can better be exercised with the scientific and technological backup from the data gathered by the soil survey, fertility, and suitability assessment. Whereas Northern Samar is predominantly an agricultural province in Eastern Visayas, with vast potentials in agricultural production, self-sufficiency, and sustainability. Whereas to enhance and attain the optimum potential in agricultural production in the province of Northern Samar that will ultimately benefit the local farmers and consumers, it is necessary to map out these vast agricultural lands and determine the respective fertility and suitability in order for the local farmers to cultivate and plant the appropriate and suitable agricultural products that will result in mass production, self-sufficiency, and sustainability. Whereas with the soil survey, fertility, and suitability assessment, the soil characteristics, land and crop suitability, and soil fertility will be determined and will better guide government planners and agricultural practitioners in enhancing agricultural productivity. Whereas the Department of Agriculture, Bureau of Soils and Water Management is the government agency tasked with the technological and scientific expertise to conduct soil survey, fertility, and suitability assessment. Now, therefore, on motion of Sangguniang Panlalawigan, Don Abalon Jolie, seconded, Sangguniang Panlalawigan, Session Assembled, resolved, as it is hereby resolved to request the Department of Agriculture, Bureau of Soils and Water Management, Central Office to conduct soils survey, fertility, and suitability assessment in all the municipalities in the province of Northern Samar. I so move, Mr. Chairman, and before that, I would like to manifest that we in the municipality of San Roque had just concluded the soils survey, fertility and suitability assessment with the technical assistance of the Bureau of Soils and Water Management. And we're just awaiting now the results that will guide our local planners in determining which appropriate agricultural products. And I believe that doing the same, replicating the same all over the province would greatly benefit our agricultural production. I so move, Mr. Chair.
Before that, we...
Mr. Chairman, may I be recognized?
Yes, please.
Prior to the presentation of the resolution, the Honorable Gentleman from San Roque has requested for the suspension of the rules in order to pave the way for the consideration of the presentation for the approval of the mentioned item. Therefore, Mr. Chairman, as requested, I move for the suspension of the rules.
Any
I second.
Any objection? Hearing none. Said motion is hereby carried. Rules are suspended. Please proceed.
So may I reiterate my earlier motion, Mr. Chair, for the passage of a resolution requesting the Department of Agriculture, Bureau of Soils and Water Management, Central Office to conduct soil survey, fertility, and suitability assessment in the province of Northern Samar.
Second.
Any objections? Hearing none. Said resolution is hereby approved.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
The Majority Leader, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Still under the other matters, May I request for the Secretary to read if there are items to be considered under the other matters?
Yes, the Secretary is directed to read some items in the other matters.
There are two items, Mr. Chairman, from the Office of the Governor and from the Department of the Interior and Local Government. Office of the Governor, July 26, 2022. The presiding officer and the members of the Sangguniang Palalawigan, Province of Northern Samar, dear presiding officer and the gentlemen and ladies of the Sangguniang, I hereby certify the urgency of passing a resolution confirming, concurring the appointment of Attorney Rosalea L. Tipasi Estudillo, Provincial Government Department Head, Provincial Human Resource Management and Development Officer, Provincial Human Resource Management and Development Office, this province. Attached are copies of appointment, personal data sheet, assumption to duty, oath of office, and position description form for your reference. Thank you for your immediate legislative action. For the Governor Edwin Marino C. Chuan, by signed Attorney Clarence E. Dato, Acting Governor.
What's the pleasure of the Majority Leader?
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Thank you, Presiding Chair. Before we considered the item mentioned by the Secretary, I move for 1 minute suspension.
Suspended for 1 minute. Session is resumed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As read by the Secretary, we have an urgent request coming from the Office of the Provincial Governor to consider passing a resolution confirming, concurring the appointment of Attorney Rosalea L. Tipasi Estudillo as Provincial Government Department Head, Provincial Human Resource Management and Development Officer. Attached in the certified letter certified to as urgent are pertinent and supporting documents such as the appointment, the personal data sheet, another document relative to the certification of assumption, oath of office, Mr. Chairman. If there are no manifestation from the members, I now directly move for the passage of a resolution confirming, concurring the appointment of Attorney Rosalea L. Tipasi Estudillo as Provincial Government Department Head, Provincial Human Resource Management and Development Officer, Province of Northern Samar. So move, Mr. Chairman.
Any objections? Hearing none. Attorney Leah Rosa Lagitan Tipasi Estudillo is the Provincial Government Department Head of the Provincial Human Resource Management Office.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I have here with me a document coming from Department of Interior and Local Government designation of our colleague Don L. Abalon as the acting Vice Governor of our province, considering that members of this august body has already furnished, and for the benefit of the people of Northern Samar, may I request the Secretary to read the designation of our colleague, the Honorable Don Abalon, as the acting Vice Governor.
The Secretary is directed to read the said letter coming from the Department of Internal Local Government.
Republic of the Philippines, Department of the Interior and Local Government, DILG Napolcom Center, EDSA Corner, Quezon Avenue, West Triangle, Quezon City, July 18, 2022. Don L. Abalon, highest ranking Sangguniang member, Office of the Sangguniang Panlalawigan, Province of Northern Samar, Arre. Designation as Vice Governor of the Province of Northern Samar in an acting capacity, pursuant to Administrative Order Number 15, issued by the President, authorizing the Secretary of the Interior and Local Government to fill temporary vacancies in certain local elective offices to prevent hiatus in and paralysis of local government operations, and DILG Circular Number 2019-21, dated February 21, 2019, with the subject operational guidelines and rules in implementing Administrative Order Number 15, Series of 2018. The undersigned hereby designates you in an acting capacity as the Vice Governor of the Province of Northern Samar to fill up the temporary vacancy created due to the approved travel to Singapore of Governor Edwin Marino C. Ung Chuan from July 28 to August 2, 2022, while on a leave of absence for personal reasons. Under Section 46, Paragraph A of the Local Government Code of 1991, Vice Governor Clarence E. Dato shall automatically exercise the powers and perform the duties and functions of the Governor, except the power to appoint, suspend, or dismiss employees during the period of the approved travel abroad of Governor Ung Chuan. As such, you are hereby ordered to assume the power and perform the duties and functions of a Vice Governor as mandated by law, except making or participating in any decision related to the items enumerated under Part 4, Item Number 1 in DILG Memorandum Circular Number 2019-21 during the above-mentioned period. This designation shall terminate upon submission to the Sanggunian of a written declaration by Governor Ung Chuan that he has reported back to office in accordance with Section 46, Paragraph B of the Local Government Code of 1991. For compliance, signed Attorney Benjamin C. Abalos Jr., Secretary.
Yes, the pleasure of the Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is just for an information, and kindly direct the Secretary that this document be form part of the record of the Sangguniang Panlalawigan.
Yes. Our acting Vice Governor is the Honorable Don L. Abalon. Matino, mahusay at maasahan.
May I proceed, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, please proceed.
Mr. Chairman, I believe, Mr. Chairman, we have no other item to be considered under the other matters.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
Considering that we have no other items under the other matters, we now proceed with the next item, the privilege and question R. And I believe, Mr. Chairman, no members would like to make use of item number 8. Therefore, I move for adjournment of a regular session until the next session, which will be on August 1 at 10 o'clock in the morning. So move, Mr. Chairman.
Any objections? Hearing none, our session is adjourned until August 1, 2022, 10 o'clock in the morning, Session Hall, Sangguniang Panlalawigan.